2012. I really think that being alive is a good idea. I want to recommend it. I'm an old woman. I think the old age is wonderful. I know some of you all are young women out there, but you really want to get to your 50s. Oh, yeah. You really, really do. It's so wonderful. Because by the time you hit your 50s, your kids are gone, you paid off. I sent my kid to law school. I was so glad when that little Negro was gone. And all of a sudden, the world just turns up. And it's really a lot of fun. I would certainly always recommend that you fall in love. By the time you hit your late 50s, early 60s, you must fall in love. And if you're married, you know, he should understand. But you That's why you don't go to grandmother's house without calling first. That's the truth. You know, some people know that. Life is precious and important. And we have you all, I teach at Virginia Tech, but we have you all in these universities. We are trying to give you a chance to recreate this world. This is going to be a slow process. Nobody in here is going to think that there's going to be like snap your fingers and the world's going to change. But as young people, as young Americans particularly, there's no reason that you should be afraid of anything. And I keep watching the people who are trying to make us hate, for example, our neighbors to the south who come here just to work with us, who come here just to clean Walmart stores, or just to get boots and stuff like that. We have to welcome those people because everybody benefits when new blood comes in. There's not one of you in this room who's sitting here thinking, Nikki's wrong, I want to work at Walmart, I do want to clean toilets. No, that's not what you're thinking, because you're going to go on and do something else. So why are we trying to make you afraid of somebody else? We live in a global world, and we know one of the things we need is teachers to be paid adequately. Start languages way earlier. You have to learn it when you're little. You have to learn it when you're in second, third grade, or maybe lower than that. Start it in the first grade. You have to learn it while you're not embarrassed or while you're not. Because once you hit puberty, you know, you're just not thinking for the next 5 or 6 years. So we need to teach you something while you're young to get you through that period. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm not utopian. I mean, I'm a 60s person, so I'm incredibly cynical, actually. But you do begin to see that there is a light somewhere, and that we should be able to follow that light into the better us. And what we're seeing right now in the United States, somebody else said it, I wish I had, but you look at somebody like a Rick Santorum, and somebody said, well, he has a great mind for the 13th century. It's ridiculous that we're having a presidential campaign based on contraceptives. Oh. It's unfair. I don't know where the men are on this, because men obviously like women. And if that's the case, you ought to be a friend. We're a friend to you. We say things, you're like, oh, baby, oh, that's so good, baby. Oh, we lie. Because we're the ones doing it, and if we want to, that's fine. But you got all these old menopausal ladies running around talking about what the young women should do. The young women deserve their bodies. The 15th Amendment gets them right to their bodies. You should be able to be who you want to be. Because sex is something that happens. If I put 2 people in a room, Catholic, Protestant, Jew, Gentile, it doesn't matter, black, white. If I put a man and a woman in a room, sex will happen. That's true, I put them there long enough. I mean, break it down. If I put 2 men in a room, I put 2 women in a room, sex will happen. But we can break it down one more time. If I put you in a room by yourself, us be quiet about things, but we deserve more. We really do. Human beings deserve more. Our job, your generation's job, is to push it forward. And there are people who are pushing us back. And there are people that are making us embarrassed to say that we don't agree with them, because all of a sudden that means you're soft, or you're crazy, or you don't know all the facts, or I have a secret, or whatever it is that they're saying. But the reality is we go forward. One of the things that I like about the Constitution of the United States is that it is a living document. And being a living document, we continue to but to reinterpret. I'm a big fan of gay marriage because I think anybody that's crazy enough to get married ought to do it. But why not? And I look in the state that people are writing, well, it'll affect my marriage. How could it? I know I have a colored education, but how in the world does what I do affect you? You know, if you don't like it, that's the same people that don't want to see gays get married. I'm a black American. Passed a law that said black Americans couldn't marry white Americans. They didn't want to pass a law that said we couldn't have sex, because then they knew that white men would not allow that. I just thought I'd mention that. Because it's a hypocrisy. No, you get sick of it. It's a hypocrisy. But this is 2012. We're going to Mars. We've already gone to the moon. I'm excited, personally speaking, about the trip to Jupiter. Somebody said, would you go? You bet. Simply because I've done, and I mean, I'm not resigning or something like that, but I've done what I was supposed to do. I took care of my child. My dog has her shots. I buried my parents and my sister. I've done what I'm supposed to do. So somebody calls me and says, Nikki, would you like to go to Jupiter? You're damn right I would. If I go and come back, I have a story that nobody has. If I go and don't come back, I was going to die one day. It may as well be on the way to Jupiter. It's exciting. There's this possibility that we have. And we have to approach life now because we've seen Earth. And you remember the other day, I'm sure that I'm not the only person that watched it, they did the 7-mile dive. I think it's so incredible. And there's so much about the ocean that we don't know. There's so much that's out there that is so incredibly exciting that to be in your early 20s right now, you just wake up smiling. Because there's so much out there, and there's so much you can do. And the world just is opening up in ways that it never was. You want to know something, you turn on your iPhone, you can look it up. You can then make a decision. I hope that you know you can't do Google unless you have enough sense to know whether Google's telling you something that you need. So it does pay to read a book. I just thought